What if one of Hollywood's most recognizable young stars was still fighting battles the public could never fully see? Hayden Panettiere, the actress who became a household name through Heroes, Nashville, and the Scream franchise, has died at just 36 years old. Her representative confirmed her death, while the circumstances surrounding it have not been publicly disclosed. For millions of viewers, Panettiere wasn't simply another actress. She was Claire Bennet, the seemingly ordinary cheerleader with an extraordinary ability to heal herself on Heroes. She was Juliette Barnes on Nashville, a young country star whose rise to fame was filled with success, heartbreak, addiction, and personal struggles. And for longtime movie fans, she was Kirby Reed in Scream 4, a character she would return to years later in Scream 6. But behind those memorable performances was a much more complicated life. Panettiere began working as a child and spent virtually her entire life in the public eye. Her early credits included Remember the Titans, and even before becoming a major television star, she had voiced Princess in A Bug's Life. Her career eventually stretched across television, film, voice acting, and music, with her performance in Nashville earning 2 Golden Globe nominations. And here's the part that makes this loss especially difficult. Earlier this year, Panettiere published her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, a deeply personal account of the life that existed behind the celebrity image. Released in May 2026, the book explored postpartum depression, addiction, recovery, trauma, domestic abuse, grief, and the pressure of growing up in Hollywood. In many ways, she was finally telling her story in her own words, after years of having that story discussed by other people. Her struggles with addiction and postpartum depression had been public for years, but her recent conversations revealed just how difficult some of those years had been. After the birth of her daughter, Kaya, Panettiere said she struggled with postpartum depression and substance misuse. In 2018, she agreed to give full custody of Kaya to the girl's father, Ukrainian former professional boxer Vladimir Klitschko, a decision she later described as one of the hardest things she had ever done. Panettiere had been remarkably open about that decision because she wanted people to understand that it wasn't about walking away from her daughter. She believed that, at that moment, getting herself healthy was part of being a better mother. And despite living apart, she continued to speak lovingly about Kaya and the relationship they shared. That part of her story has become an important piece of the legacy she leaves behind. Then came another devastating loss. Panettiere's younger brother, actor Jansen Panettiere, died in 2023 at only 28 years old. She later spoke publicly about how profoundly his death affected her, describing the loss of someone she had been extremely close to. It was another chapter in a life that, despite the fame and success, contained an enormous amount of grief. But Hayden Panettiere's story wasn't defined only by what happened to her. She also used her public platform to advocate for causes she cared about, including mental health awareness, animal rights, environmental issues, and support for Ukraine following Russia's invasion. She helped launch a relief effort in 2022 and spoke about refusing to simply watch people suffer from the sidelines. Her advocacy even earned recognition in Washington, D.C., where officials proclaimed September 16, 2011, as Hayden Panettiere Day. Now, as fans and fellow performers react to the news, tributes are beginning to reflect the different sides of her life. SAG-AFTRA remembered Panettiere as a child actor whose career included Heroes, Nashville, and much more, while actress Melissa Barrera, her Scream 6 co-star, shared a personal tribute. Jay Shetty, who had spoken with Panettiere earlier this year, also expressed shock and condolences following her death. There is still one major question that remains unanswered. What happened? At this time, authorities and her representatives have not publicly established a cause of death, and it would be irresponsible to speculate. What we do know is that Hayden Panettiere died at 36, leaving behind a career that began in childhood, performances that became part of pop culture, a daughter she loved deeply, and a story she had only recently begun to tell completely on her own terms. For many people, Hayden Panettiere will always be the girl who could heal herself on Heroes, the complicated country star from Nashville, or Kirby Reed from Scream. But perhaps the most lasting image is something simpler, a woman who spent her final years trying to reclaim her voice, confront her past, and be honest about the struggles behind the spotlight. Her life was far more complicated than the characters she played, and her legacy will be remembered for far more than the tragedies she endured. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.